All right, so start recording. Number one, I think last class I covered basically how you can set up a massing model, right? In Revit, just using the basic modeling tools, you can create a massing. Then you can convert this into walls, windows, and floors. So it's kind of continue from that one. So number one, assume you have a model already, like a massing. If I switch to the elevation view, you can see this massing model is pretty high, is multiple levels, and it's not necessarily like a restaurant, but I can just using this as a demo. So here I have level 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, if you need more level, you can always duplicate. So here I can choose duplicate. Then I can pick this guy. I can move up a little bit. I can give this guy name level 5. I can define the dimensions between each level. So this is how you can cut your massing model based on the height of your story. Right? So it's pretty convenient. You can always click the level. You can type the height directly here. If you want this to be 45, you can just type it. Just jump it right to that height. So it's really nice. Okay, so assuming we have just, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels, I like to transfer this massing model into floors. Then I can draw the wall, draw the circulation. Okay, so let me switch quickly to 3D view. I will click my mass, and I will click this mass floors. This is a tool allow you to kind of like a slice a cake, right? You have this chunk of volume. You want to define how you want to slice it. So I will activate level 1, level 2, maybe level 3, level 4, level 5. Depends on how you want to slice the massing. Then I will click OK. Then quickly you got all the floors from your massing model. That's pretty cool, right? Really fast. Then I'm going to go to architecture. I will set up maybe floor first. So I will pick floor from the face, right? Based on the face. Then I can pick this, right? Then now if I click create floor, see what happened? It's automatically create a floor for me. So if I repeat this process for all the floors, I should be able to easily create all the floors without a problem. Okay, let me dismiss that. Create floor. The last one should be the roof, right? So here I will go to architecture. I will click roof. I will choose roof from face, pick the face, create the roof. Done, right? So now if I go back to my massing model and then turn off the massing, you can see your Revit model should now only display the geometries, not the massing. So you have all the floors, you have the roof as well. Cool. So this is a really fast way you can switch from the massing model, construct your detailed architectural model. And after you do that, then I can go to the level 1, a floor plan, right, already. And you want to punch an opening to create an atrium or C below. You basically need to select the floor. Then you click Edit Boundaries. Then you see this purple line, which indicate the boundaries, right, or footprint of the floor. So now if you draw anything within that floor, basically you create a void. So here if I click OK, you can see the void right there. Right? So this is allow you to add whatever shape, maybe it could be a circle, you can punch through, then you click OK, you shoot this hole right here. Right? So that's how you do the atriums. Yeah, other questions? All right, so let me stop this recording. Well, in the last demo, for some reason, the geometry doesn't show up in the level view, level 1, 2, 3. So I checked the in the view, I checked the visibility graph. You can type VV. Seems like everything is on. The floor is on. I also checked the view range, which is a part of the way you can set up the visibility along the height. So in the edit, seems like everything is fine. Later I found out the reason why the geometry doesn't show up is because of facing. So in the view, you have a control, kind of like a filter, to show which face is visible. In this case, it's a projection completion face is visible, right? But for some reason, in my original 3D model, when I create this model in the first place, converting a massing into roof and the floor slab, for some reason the facing is not in the completion. I think it was in another one, probably it's in the superstructure or something. So if that is the case, when you switch to the view, the geometry will not show up. So just make sure when you create a geometry, a wall, or whatever, make sure you have the facing as a project completion. So that will solve the problem. To confirm that, if I go to level 3, everything in the project completion is visible. But if I change the facing to, I only want to see things in the superstructure, hit apply, nothing show up, right? So you got the idea. The facing is kind of like a filter, a group of filters you can apply based on the property of your geometry. So now I will just do project completion, it will show up, right? So it's nothing to do with the visibility of the visibility graph. It's nothing to do with the view range. All right, so that's mystery solved. Another thing I want to show you is quickly, I did a little bit color, I did a little bit details on the facade. So I want to show you quickly how you can do this by yourself. So first thing I want to show you is in the level. For each level, I have a kind of different graphics. So let's start with level 1. In level 1, you do see this light blue color. This is actually, if you select, this is called massing. So the massing is still visible here. You can either turn it off in the visibility graph or VV right here, right? You can turn off the massing, or you can just simply go to the massing tag and click show. Well, this is probably for 3D. Well, let's do this. I will do VV and I will turn off the massing right here. Turn it off. Okay, so we only show the walls and geometries. Okay, so everything's fine. Also, if you want to double check the visibility of your view range, right, you can click here. You see everything is associated with level 1. You have 4 feet as a cut plan. Top is about 7.6. So that's a 1 story high. Okay, everything is fine. Then I can switch this to wireframe. You should be able to see a typical floor plan. All right, so this is how you control the visibility. If I go to a second level, level 2, and here you can see the color is a little bit different. Also, I draw some additional lines. So I will show you how you can customize the look of the view. If I go to level 3, if I zoom in, it's a little bit different. You can actually see the concrete slab right here. But if I go to level 2, if I zoom in, I did not really see the pattern of the concrete. So I will show you why sometimes it's not showing up, sometimes it's showing up. So in the level 3, let's go there first. This is the actual default. So if I go to VV, visibility graph, and here if I go to floor, right, so this is the way you can actually control the look of the floor. By default, everything is not being overwrite. So here if I check floors, you have hidden line, you have You have lines, you have patterns, you have transparency, right? Everything is a default. So for example, I don't like the patterns of this concrete. I think it's a little bit too much visually. So I like to turn it off, okay? So you might think about, well, there are many different ways you can do it. One way is I can select this floor slab and then I can turn off the concrete pattern, right? This can be done in 3D. If I select this basic roof, you can see if I edit the tab, you see the roof is actually the floor slab, sorry, not the roof, right? So let's click this floor slab. Yeah. Oh, this is the select the wrong one. So just make sure you are using tab. This could be really handy, right? Select the floor slab. Now if I edit tab, you can see this is the concrete, right? So you might think about one solution is if I don't want to show the patterns, I can change the pattern display right here, right? So the structure is concrete, and here is color. If I add it, I can even change the name of the concrete here. But I don't really recommend you change the pattern display right here. The reason is if you changed, you basically change the properties of the floor slab, and that will affect the whole database. Because if you think Revit is not about 2D drawing, it's a central 3D database. So I wouldn't recommend you make any change directly in the properties. This will cause some other issues in the future. If you do really just want to change the look, for example, in level 2 or level 3, I will just control the visibility from the VV, right? So here in level 2, I double click VV, and I will show you. In this view, if I drag down to the floors, you can see this floor, I have a line override, right? Override. By default is a black. I change the color to red. By default, the weight is, I think is 1 or no override. I change it to a really thick line, 11 units. So when you do that and hit apply, you can see the floor actually has this really thick red line. And that can be override directly into the line columns. Okay. The same thing for the patterns. If I click the pattern, you can see I do not have any patterns anymore, right? So unchecked both of them. But if I check visible, make the foreground visible, and hit apply, you can see this filled concrete pattern will show up. So this became really handy. Depends on what kind of styles you like. Sometimes you do not want to show the details of the pattern. You can just simply go there and then uncheck the foreground and hit apply. Right. So that will be the way. Did I hit apply? Yes. So it's gone. All right. Cool. I think this is the way you can control the patterns. You can also control transparency if you like. You can also control the cut lines. So here, because it's a 2D view, it doesn't really make sense to have a cut line override. But when you have a 3D view, if you do a section box, maybe I will show you that really soon, you will see you can override the cut line as well. Okay, so this feature is controlled here. The halftone will allow you to do a really transparent line. This, if you want to make things override on top of each other, you can do a halftone. Okay, I think that's it. I want to show you the cut lines and patterns really quick. So let me switch to the 3D view. In this 3D view, if I type VV, right, you can see the 3D view. I have these floors as well. I have this line. I think I did this as this big orange color for the pattern. For the line, I did not really fill any patterns, right? No override. So this is the default lines. So this is a good way if you want to change, for example, the color. I don't know, make all the floor became blue. if I hit apply, you can see all the floor became blue color, right? So by this way, you can customize the look of Revit model by changing the color of your patterns. Also, I changed the cutting line. So right now the line is black. Cut pattern is basically just fill a red color, an orange color, and purple color. So here, if I double click, you can see foreground, background, two different color as a solid fill, and make both of them visible, right? So now, if I do a cut, I will do this with a section box. So in my 3D view, I will go ahead, check the section box. You can see the section box show up, then I can drag it, right? So basically I can cut this model to make it within this section box. As long as I cut the box and zoom in, you can see this cutting plan, right? This floor plan, this section part became red color with a really thick black line, right? The reason is in the VV of this view, and you can see I have this really thick black line, right, with a 6 units thickness, and also the color filled in. Okay, so that's the way you can really customize the look of your drawing by play with the line weight, play with the color, play with the field pattern. It's really powerful. You can get a lot of unique styles out of this. So let's go back to level 3. Level 2 actually. I will show you really quick how you can customize the lines as well. So if you are drawing something like a circulation, you basically want to draw directly on your wheel, you can do, oh by the way, for your wheel you can right click, choose zoom to fit. So if you have for some reason lost your wheel, maybe you are really far away from the camera like this, right click, zoom to fit, that could fit in your wheel. So that's another reason sometimes you don't really see your drawing. Don't be panic, just right click, zoom to fit, or you can check the facing, right? Make sure everything is in the right face. All right, go back to this. If you want to draw the line, there's many ways you can do it. Model line is the easiest way. If I click model line, I can just draw the line directly here. So I can do the curves, enter to finish. So here's the curve. You might wondering where this color come from. Again, this is controlled by VV. If I go here, you can see my lines. If I open this, I have a green dash line. I also have this hidden line as purple. This purple has a pretty thick thickness, 8 units. That's the reason here. If I save the project, so here if I have this line, right, if I switch the line style to hidden line, it became automatically this thick dash line. Okay, so you can switch different styles, it will have a different look, right? And anytime if you want to change the line style, you can always go to VV again, and here in the lines I can change my line style from I think the dash line, which is the parent, right, of all of other lines. I can change the dash line to, I don't know, maybe dot. Apply. Right. It's gonna impact the styles, overall styles. Right. But I think there's many ways you can play with this VV. Just make sure in a particular setting, you can always dig into this. The hidden lines now have this thick purple, but let's do maybe the center line. I want to just do a quick demo, make it as green. I will make the center line really thick, right? Just give 6, hit apply, click OK. So here if I want to make this one looks like green, I just need to change it to center line. Here we go, you have this green lines. Okay, so I hope this could be a quick way help you to draw the circulation. You can start with the door, you can draw this line directly here. Okay, if you like, you can also turn on the shadow, so that could help you in some of the case. Okay, yeah, so you can see the walls. All right, so that's about the line style and the color. The last one I want to show you, let me turn off the section box, which is here. I want to tell you really quick how you can create this curtain wall system right here. Okay, so the curtain wall system, let me turn off the shadow so it will be a little bit faster. It's kind of tricky. If you create an architecture, go to wall, and you want a wall by face, right? You set up the wall as a curtain wall or storefront. It works pretty well if the face is vertical. For instance, let me turn on the face so you can see it. Right. So if the face is kind of like this, vertical, it's pretty easy. You can pick up curtain wall, then you can pick up the face. Let me change this to shading mode. Right, so you can see it's automatically constructed this curtain wall. Just like one click, and you can see all the details is there, including the molding system, the panels, everything is there. Okay. However, if this surface is sloped, it takes a little bit effort to make it happen. So here, if I pick a wall, I was trying to identify this face, right? So I got this warning message, say, hey, this surface is not be able to attach with a curtain wall. I will show you how to do this with alternative way. So first, I like to delete all of this curtain wall I already created in a previous test. The quick way you can delete this file, delete curtain wall, is you can drag a selection window. So here you can see if I go to filter, you have 595 objects selected. If I click filter, this is actually give you the list of geometries. Basically, you don't want to accidentally, select the lines, floors. The only thing you want to select is something related with curtain, right? Curtain panels, curtain system, curtain wall grid, curtain moldings. So hit apply. So basically, you applied the filter into your current selection, and I can delete. So basically, you delete all the curtain system in your window selection. This is a really great way. If you make a selection, you can always go to the filter. In the filter, then you can see what has been selected. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this curtain wall system for this slope. We'll go here, architecture. So instead of create the wall directly, I will create a curtain system. This one allows you to have a more flexible surface. This surface could be curved, could be sloped, give you more control, right? So I do a curtain system. Now you should be able to pick up this face. If you roll over to the edge, you can see the face will be highlighted. So click, you basically select the right face. Then you can click create. So that's how you generate this curtain system easily in this, just like a one click. All right. Then I can go ahead, turn off the visibility of the mass. Right. You can see the system you just created right there. Keep in mind, what you have just created is just a curtain wall system. It's not a molding, it's not a 3D front store front yet. So here, if you do want to create other details like a molding system, for example, you can pick up these individual lines, or you can do all the grid lines. This option with one click, it creates all the molding system based on all the grids in our curtain wall system. So this is actually a 3D dimension frame system there. if you turn on the shadow, you should be able to see it casting the shadows directly into this model. It's a little bit hard to see, but trust me, they are 3D, they casting shadows. Right? I think this is a shadow casted from this modeling system. Alright, I think that's pretty much about how you're gonna take the massing model, then you can do the wall, you can create individual levels, you can go to the view, you can add in details, right? You can customize the color, the line weight, you can draw the circulation. There's another quick note I want to show you is if you do want to use your massing model to split the face, so later you can attach different type of walls, you can actually do it. So here, if I turn off the massing model, you can see this part of the surface, I have this CMU wall plus the storefront, right? So this is actually all come from the massing model. I can show you really quick how you can do this. There are actually multiple ways you can do it. One way to do is maybe we can using this front. I think this will be more interesting. Well, let's using a simple one, like using this one, for instance. So first, I'm going to turn on the massing. Right, so I have the massing model. If I select the massing, cancel first. Right. Right, this is the massing model. So here I will click Edit in place, so you can continue to modify this massing model. And here you can see this is individual lines, and there is a function here called split face. So basically you can subdivide face in massing. So here if I want to split the face, if I roll over, you can see I can highlight different face, right? So in this corner face, maybe I want to do something really unconventional. So here I will just draw a line, I will draw another line, I will draw kind of like a triangle shape. Well, structurally this part doesn't make sense, but I want to just for experimental, right? Click, okay. So now I have this massing model, but I have this kind of splitted face right here. So if I roll over my massing model, you can see the highlight is a little bit different. Right. So now if I go to architecture, I will go ahead create wall by face. Maybe at the first I want to do a exterior CMU. Okay, so I will roll over, highlight the wall. So it's basically just pick up all the solid part, right, without this triangle void. Right, so you have the wall. Then I will do this again, and this time wall by face, I will pick a different style. Maybe I will just do the storefront. Yeah, you can't really do storefront here because it's not really vertical. Maybe let's do the curtain system. Yes. For this one, I think it shouldn't allow me to do it. You have this curtain system right here. Right, it's done. So that's how you can easily create a subdivision in your massing model, and then you can give a different material or different type of wall to your geometry. Okay, so this is one way. Another easier way, if the wall is vertical, is pretty easy to do. You can just create a wall first. Do this one more time. I will show the massing. I will go to wall by face. Right? I will pick a solid wall, and I will pick up this face. Right? So you're done. You have this wall right there. And then if you, let me just turn off the shadow. I think it's a little bit too much. So if you do want to punch the holes, I can easily just go to the wall. Then I can go ahead, edit its profile. Let me turn off the massing because I'm selecting the massing instead of the wall. So that's the tab key became pretty handy. Sometimes you can just click the right one. Okay, use a tab to switch. Right, just make sure you have the wall selected. Once the wall is selected, then you can edit profile. Right. So here, if I want to punch openings, or if I want to draw a certain shape, I can go ahead to draw that directly on the wall. Maybe a sloped. Right. So basically, this is added to the profile of the wall. Right. So you have actually two walls now. One wall is the original CMU. Another wall is actually this patched. If I make this one, see if I can move this a little bit so you can see it. Yeah, can you see that? So you have this as a new wall with a different kind of profile. I think I accidentally did twice. So here's the new wall with the right profile. Okay, I think that's it. I can move this wall back to its right location. So that's how you control the profile. But if you want to have this as a glass later, you probably have to build an actual wall surface, attach that to a glass. So there's the pros and the cons. I think maybe using the split face is a more convenient way. I will leave that to you. Right. So split face, let me show one more time. This can maybe is go a little bit too long, but I think it's good you understand the whole process. So here for the massing model, now it's a little bit hard to select the original massing. Here we go, can use a tab. Okay, here's a massing model, right? You can tell this from the properties. Then we'll add it in place. Okay, then I select this. I will do, you can do a cut if you want. This is another way you can basically split the face. Well, let's using this. Split the face. So here, intersection. I would do something like a really free form. Do this one more time. Okay, so that is the enclosed polygon. Then I click finish. Right, so I have this new profile. Then I will go to architecture, wall, wall by face. Right, just make sure you roll over to the edge. Here we go. You create the first wall. Right. Then I will switch to something, maybe storefront. Then I will do wall by face. Yeah, if you roll over the edge, you can see this tiny blue color show up. That's it. Right. You create a storefront. Again, in the future, if you want to add details such as a molding system, you can definitely do it manually. Just be careful, because it's always going to increase the number of geometries dramatically in your project. So if you have hundreds of moldings, there's going to be a problem. It will be a slowdown in your Revit project. But we don't have many, so I think I will just add all the grids with the molding system. Now I can turn off my massing. That looks pretty awesome. Okay, I think that's it about how you can take the massing model, transfer in, adding details, split face, and also change the line weight, right? Change the line color. So that is something particularly I think is useful for the circulation study. You have, we also covered a little bit about filter system, right? If you make a selection, go to filter, you can see out here. We also covered a little bit in our view. You can control the section box. You can control the visibility. You can control the view range and facing, right? I think that's it for this tutorial.